Hey everybody! So unlike the last video, where I debunk a ghost story, this one is actually real. In fact, there are 6 ghost stories associated with this place. Known as the most haunted hotel in America, probably the most haunted place in Arkansas. At least I would assume so if it's the most haunted hotel in America. Unless Arkansas is just booming with ghost stories, which it very well could be. This is the Crescent Hotel. Built upon the Crescent Mountain in 1886. We already run into our first tragedy immediately during the construction, where a man named Michael falls through to a room, which we will get into here later on, and unfortunately it takes his life. There will be 5 other very unfortunate deaths that are very, very real that took place in this hotel that unfortunately didn't always remain as a hotel. Only in more recent history was it a hotel again. It started off as a hotel, a very, very luxurious hotel, mind you. You could not even enter this hotel without an invitation from the hotel itself. That's how exclusive this club was. Yet, it goes through many, many twists and turns, and in fact, turns into something worse than an insane asylum. Yeah, it goes down that dark road. It's pretty wild. So before we get into this story, I'm going to give you guys a brief history on the Crescent Hotel, on Eureka Springs in general and how it came to be. And then we're going to get into just a smidgen of what this, well, actually it was a cancer hospital. Like I said, it was significantly worse than most insane asylum stories you've probably heard. So you're going to want to buckle up for this. Though, I have to say, I'm not going to get into that story nearly as much. That is so wild and crazy that it deserves its own separate video. To make it clear, this video is specifically about the 6 ghosts that haunt the Crescent Hotel. Now, if you guys want that video done, I'm going to do something a little crazy here and something a little bit, I guess not well-deserved, being that I'm only, at this point in time, at 440 subscribers. So, if we can get this video to 5,000 likes, I'm asking for a big, big thing from you guys here. I'm hoping that we can get there at some point. And hey, if it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. I'm not super worried. But I will do the video over this insane cancer hospital where this man tortured people to death for their money. Yeah, let me give you a bit of a hint. He injects watermelon seeds into their brains. This is going to be a wild ride, guys. I'm telling you. You want to see this video. So please like, subscribe, and share this video. Leave a comment down below. And guys, all that stuff that I asked you to do really helps with the algorithm. It tells YouTube that this video is doing well, and they will push it out to more viewers. And that's how we're going to end up getting those likes. So just by you guys interacting with the video through liking and subscribing, especially subscribing, I could use more subscribers. Doing that and commenting below will help get this video out there. So guys, let's jump right on into a smidgen of the history of Eureka Springs, and then we will dive right into these ghost stories. Let's have a happy Halloween. Now, everything you're about to hear today, specifically, is genuinely a special thanks to General Powell Clayton. He made everything possible. He brought the railroad to Eureka Springs. It was quite the tourist attraction, known for its healing waters. There were quite a few Native American tribes that claimed that the spring water from Eureka had all these healing properties. Many people were cured from blindness, so the stories are told anyway, and many different ailments that were cured by these waters. Once this magical place was modernized, people flocked to Eureka just to spend a little bit of time there, which is what brought forth the Crescent Hotel. Now, the Crescent Hotel may have been built in 1886, and it lasted as just a hotel until 1908, when it became a Crescent College and Conservatory for Women. A very interesting story because this is where our second tragedy takes place, the Lady in the Mist. I'll get into her when we get to the ghost stories. It was a college and hotel From 1908 to 1923, the owners decided to sell. It shut down temporarily and was reopened back in 1929 and then closed back down in 1933 during the Great Depression. It goes without saying why the hotel and college closed during the Great Depression. In 1937 to 1940, this is whenever the hotel made a comeback, but very unfortunately, it was a comeback for the worst. It became the Baker Hospital. This is whenever Norman Glenwood Baker ultimately decided to flee Iowa, where he had a clinic there before, and got busted for being a scam artist, coming down to Arkansas to continue his scam in the form of a cancer hospital. This is incredibly disgusting and a very disturbing story that I feel you all would end up enjoying, but it's just so much to go through that it definitely deserves its own video. So if we get to that 5,000 likes, guys, I promise that video will be released. This guy was a very sick person, and I can definitely say that there is a form of justice at the end of that tunnel for Norman Glenwood Baker. After this, the hotel did become a hotel again, but it went through many different owners and even a fire. There was a lot of struggle to get it back to its hotel glory days. However, it did start in 1946, unfortunately ending in 1973. And then from 1973 to 1980, a new owner, known as the Fagan years, and he sold it in 1980 to the National Historic Registry Hotels of Eureka Springs. It was then sold to Gary and Carol Clausen in 1993. In 1997, the Clausens sold the Crescent Hotel to Marty and Elise Ronick. I believe is how you pronounce their names. I'm not 100% sure. And unfortunately, in 2015, Marty passed away. Sort of in an ironic way, he died in a car accident in Iowa. I found that to be weird that he would pass away in the very state that Norman Baker ended up coming from. It's a little strange. I don't know if anyone's really pointed that out, but it is very unfortunate that in 2015 that took place. So rest in peace. Terribly sorry for everyone's loss. He was very well beloved in the Eureka community. To say the least, the restoration of the hotel was done very, very well. It looks exactly like the hotel from 1886. I wish I could get into more detail with it, but that's not why you guys came here. If you guys do want a more detailed historical background on this, I may be able to do that video too. But it's Halloween, and what everybody really wants here are some good old-fashioned ghost stories. And they're the most fascinating part about the Crescent Hotel, in my personal opinion. I absolutely love going to this hotel. I have not experienced anything myself. Whether the ghosts are real or not, totally up to you and what you believe. I don't know that I necessarily believe myself, but one thing I can tell you guys for a fact is that these 6 people really did exist, and they did pass away very tragically in this hotel. Let's get on with the ghost stories. Now, this book right here is the book that I am going to be reading every one of those ghost stories from. I have them marked up so I can tell you guys where the ghost stories are and whatnot pretty easily. This book, I do want to advertise it a bit because I am straight up reading word for word the ghost stories from it, so it deserves its credit. This is called The Crescent Hotel with Ghost Stories by Susan Schaefer. You can actually buy this on their website. It's $20. That's how much I purchased it for anyway. It was $20 at the time, $19.95. 5 cents shipping, I guess? Because I paid 20 even, so I don't know. Anyway, they sent it to me relatively quickly. It was quite impressive. Very well packaged, too. Absolutely love this book. This goes over everything, for the most part, that you need to know about Eureka, to the Crescent Hotel itself. It's such a very quick 150-page book to get to know a lot about it. So if you're wanting to get to know everything just a little bit better than what I gave you in this video, I do recommend this book, though this book will be sourced in the other videos that I do as well as many other sources online, including the Eureka Springs Crescent Hotel website. Michael, the most legendary of all the ghosts. He was an Irish stonemason. It is room 218 into which he fell to his death during construction. It is often referred to as Michael's room. one of the most active rooms in the entire hotel. It seems the desk clerks and bellmen think he is full of mischief. He likes to turn lights and televisions on and off. His room is often the scene of unexplained activity. Water running, doors opening and closing, and lights going off and on. Sometimes cold air would come from under the door and chill the hallway near the door. The room is most active when occupied by women. Michael, a strapping, good-looking young man, liked women, and it is reported he was flirting with a passing woman when he fell. The college girl, also known as the Girl in the Mist. From 1908 to 1923, 1929 to 1933, the Crescent Hotel was the Crescent College Conservatory. It was a school for girls, and we already went over this. Girls boarded and went to school there. She never has had a name, and she is not often seen. At 10:30 at night, she fell from the third-floor balcony on the east side to her death. There were whispers of a romantic interlude. Was she with child? Did she jump, or was it an accident? Sometimes a falling cloud of mist with perhaps a human-like figure in it appears. Now, all that being said, when I took the ghost tour, it is also said that there is a man in black that turns around and walks away from the window that can be noticed. It's not always seen. Some people claim to see it, some people claim not to. Now, some of the teachers there, they were definitely male. And the theory goes that one of those teachers had an inappropriate relationship with one of the girls there in the school. The school had very strict rules, and women were chaperoned from class to class and into their dorms. It was impossible for a boy to get in, though there were many shenanigans where these women had a basket. They would have a boy get into the basket and try to hoist him up into the room. Or, these women did like boys, so naturally they would try to break the rules. And the rumor has it that he did get caught. They dropped the basket and he sprained his ankle. Apparently this is a true story. I don't know if it is or isn't, but a lot of people swear by it. That being said, there were many male teachers there, and it's possible that he had this inappropriate relationship, found out she was pregnant, knew that his reputation would be tarnished, and pushed her over the balcony. As for why we don't know her name, I'm really not sure. She did exist. It was pretty well covered up. I don't understand how they managed to do that back then, but maybe people wanted their privacy. I'm not sure. The nurse, the lady in white. In the late 30s, early 40s, the Crescent Hotel was the Baker Cancer Hospital. Obviously, his watermelon seed cure was not a cure. People who died were removed only at night when other patients were asleep. They were taken to the morgue in the basement. Often a nurse in 1930s-style white uniform is seen pushing a gurney and vanishing into thin air. She's seen, or the squeaky wheels are heard on the third floor. Now, we don't know specifically who this nurse may have been. It really could have been any nurse that worked there at that time. But I imagine that a lot of those nurses had an immense amount of guilt finding out what was really going on. Some of them had to be privy to what was really going on there. Others may have been oblivious. Regardless of that, they certainly saw these patients suffering, knowing that there was nothing they could do, and probably questioning why they have to remove these bodies at night. Like I said, some of them may have been in on it, some of them less so. Some of them may have found out that it was a sham and unfortunately had to live with it. We don't really know what happened there. All we do know is that people do claim to see one of those nurses that existed. Maybe filled with guilt, maybe she passed away there, maybe she passed away of old age and just could not leave that place. Who knows what happened? The young boy. Dressed in knickers and maybe 4 years old, he appears in the middle of the night bouncing a ball. He appears to be upset, and as he bounces it, he repeats in a pouty nature, "That's not fair." Nobody really knows who this little boy is, but a lot of people feel that it is Brecky Thompson. Now, to go back into a little bit of the history here, Richard Ryan Thompson was his father. Now, he ended up getting a job at the boarding school as a language teacher, apparently making $1,500 to do so, which back then was quite a bit of money. Now, unfortunately, his son, his oldest at the age of 4, ended up passing away due to an infection from his colon slipping. Very, very unfortunate. A lot of people do feel that it is Brecky Thompson, but your guess is as good as anybody else's, though the boy does seem to fit the description of Brecky Thompson quite well. And that is Brecky, Breckie. The little girl. Another recurring spirit, that is, of a little girl. She fell through the spindles of the main staircase from the 4th floor to the ground level. 5 floors. She turns up on the opposite end of the 4th floor hallway and may stand beside your bed. Again, another unnamed ghost, but history recounts of this person falling to their death. It is a very unfortunate tragedy, and I wish I had more information on this person. Theodora. Exactly why Theodora lived at the cancer clinic, we do not know. Patient, head of nursing, or housekeeping, we do not know. But 419 was her room. She's neat and organized and will pack your bags if you aren't. She appears as a full-body apparition. So apparently this person will rummage through your things, not to be mischievous or take them apart, but apparently will organize them and keep them together. It's kind of a strange apparition, but hooray, we found one that's actually not that creepy. Those are the 6 ghosts of the hotel. And what we're going to get into next are, I guess you could say, honorable mentions. Other ghosts that are possibly in the hotel, that some have claimed to have seen that nobody's really sure about. Very, very few sightings of these next ghosts have ever come up, and we don't know if people are just making it up or what is going on here, but we have no way to identify these people. So I'll list them here as an honorable mention, I guess you could say, which is a little strange to say the least, but hey, you know what? It's Halloween. Let's have a good time. The Man in Black. He is dressed in a black Victorian formal evening wear, distinguished with a beard and mustache. He is seen most often on the lower stairs. Again, it's not the creepiest. It's actually significantly creepier than Theodora, but to just see someone standing there and not bother you, not very creepy. Though I suppose I wouldn't necessarily want that in a room all by myself. Norman Baker, the owner of the hospital himself, apparently, is rarely seen. He owned and operated the Baker Clinic, loved purple, wore white shoes with lavender shirts, and loved lavender paint. Owned a purple cord auto. Seen as a mad scientist. I actually am not familiar with anybody seeing this apparition. I don't know if these people made this up. He did not pass away at the Baker Hospital, so I really have my doubts about this one. I kind of feel this one was shoehorned in. Whatever you guys may believe, the Crescent Hotel certainly has made its mark as America's most haunted hotel. I do believe it to be at least one of the most haunted hotels in America, though, like I said, I've never seen it myself. But with such a rich, long history, and so many tragedies that have taken place, it's believable, to say the least, that if anything spooky was going to happen, that this would certainly be the place that it would happen in. That being said, again, I've never seen anything myself. Me and my wife, we went there for our honeymoon. We ended up having a very nice day at the spa. Touring the hotel, going through the ghost tour, that was so much fun. I could not recommend the ghost tour enough. This book right here that I've read from is the book that the ghost story people have to tell. They have to memorize this book. This is what they're taught to read and memorize when giving the ghost tours there at the Crescent. So this is the most legitimate and sworn by historical accurate ghost stories provided by the hotel. This is what they swear by. This is what they want their people to learn. So if you are interested in any of this, I highly recommend you guys take a trip to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and enjoy a nice time at the spa there, or ghost stories, ghost tour, or just the town in general. The town's amazing. You will not regret it. I've never known anybody to go to Eureka and not like that place. Very much a lot of different fun to be had there, from the bars to the shops to the restaurants and just the different events. Halloween is one of the most booming times a year. They have their Halloween parade. It's just a lot of fun. Couldn't recommend it enough, honestly. I was very excited to jump into the story and cover it, simply because this place means a lot to me. I have very fond memories of it. Guys, thank you all very much for watching and putting up with me in general. I hope that this video was somewhat fun for you. If it was, please give it a like. I don't mean to keep berating you guys with that, but I just want this to do well if you all liked it. If you all don't like it, I totally understand. And please give me some suggestions down in the comment section below as to what you would actually like to hear. I'm always open for suggestions. So thank you all very much. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all here in the next video. Later.